This video is sponsored by Private Internet Access VPN, but more on them in just a moment. For the first time this season, we go stateside as we arrive at Miami for round 5 of the brand new McLaren Road to Glory on F1 23. If you haven't seen round 4, guys, Baku, the first sprint race of the season, go check it out, link in the top right of your screen, because spoiler warning, things are going to happen, things are going to get ruined for you. So if you haven't seen the last episode, which went out pretty late last night, go check it out and then arrive back to this one and we'll see what happens. Anyway, first things first, in this one we have a powertrain department event, which we're going to take care of briefly. Also, if you're going to enjoy the episode, guys, leave a like and subscribe, as I'm trying to keep pushing for that 100k mark. And yeah, here we go. Department event number 1 for the engine. So basically we have to choose, either trust the designer or go with our own instincts. And because it's early days and I don't really want to affect morale in the department, I'm going to actually side and agree with, the head of the department, which is contrary to what apparently I'm choosing to do, but still, to keep morale high, we'll take the high ground and agree. We're also going to do a bit of durability work because we have to do this at some point, and also I'm noticing some engine wear just 4 rounds in, so I want to kind of remedy that a little bit so we take care of some of that pain. And we're going to add to that also a discounted upgrade for the ERS, so pretty much 4 more upgrades, 3 for durability and 1 for engine power. Let's talk about private internet access. So would you like to watch F1 TV Pro, Sky F1, or just any other region lock content for that matter? With PIA VPN, you can do that because basically private internet access gives you the option to overcome those restrictions, changing your IP address, and you're able to connect to any of 84 different countries. Private internet access VPN works with all the streaming services in the world, and you can basically access more content than ever before with no restrictions. PIA VPN is available on every single platform, so Windows, iOS, Mac, Linux, you name it, it's got it. And also you can protect an unlimited amount of devices at any given time, which is really, really helpful. Look, I've been using their product for a while now. I've also promoted it before. So guys, give private internet access a go. Trust me, I've used it. It's super helpful, super useful, and you'll find out why. Click the link down below. You get 2 years plus 4 months for free. And not just that, 30-day money back guarantee and 24/7 customer service, which is incredible. So guys, check it out. This weekend we have no upgrades on the car, as it's a short turnaround from the last race in Baku. It's a back-to-back, and so far, as you can see in the bottom, we are still pointless. I'm hoping this is the weekend we can change it, but then again, I thought that was going to be the case at Baku, and it didn't happen. So yeah, Alpine closed the gap. They get a bit closer to us in terms of performance, and you can see in the bottom right we have the engine wear icon on, which we'll take care of after practice. For now though, speaking of which, we're currently going through the programs as always, and this is the race strategy program, which is the one that's the most important, as it gives you accurate data for the race, for tyres and fuel, and it was pretty easily done. Pace wise, you can see we got slower and slower each lap, so tyre wear is actually a bit higher here, 1.11, and fuel consumption is actually pretty low, so we can afford to go quite aggressive in the race. As for the engine, after that practice session we finished all of our programs, I'm going to go ahead and switch out the components that we have 4 available of. So those that have only 2 available, we're going to have to basically stick with those for a bit longer, so the energy store and the control electronics. And at some point we have to do an upgrade for those 2 because we only have 2 of them for the whole season. But yeah, we get the new components on, including a new gearbox, and that will be on the car for qualifying and the race, so a small boost to engine power for the rest of the weekend. After that we got discounts, lots and lots of discounts, and this is going to be valuable for us in terms of future upgrades moving forward as we keep pushing to try and close the gap to the top 4 teams in Formula 1. And yeah, pretty much at this stage we're doing a pretty good job. One thing I wanted to change in the settings is the fault type, because if you guys know F1 22, the last game, whenever you change the engine, it was pretty much guaranteed that engine would blow up in its first race. So I'm going to change the fault frequency from standard to low, so it's not as common, in the hope it doesn't happen. If it does, we know that it's kind of a bug that's continuing on from F1 22, and we'll consider turning off engine failures for the series. But for now, we're going to stick with it and see what happens. Anyway, qualifying time, Q1. Overcast, no sunshine right now, which actually helps visibility a bit, as the sun can be a bit of an issue here. Turn 1, pretty poor. Got nowhere near the apex and picked up a little bit of understeer as I just outbroke myself into the first corner. Checo gets out the way as we make our way down the back straight. DRS open again, completely outbreak ourselves into that left-hander there, just losing a lot of time. And now one last time into the final hairpin, not really troubling the apex as we close out our first banker lap in this qualifying session. DRS open right before the line as we set a 128.8 and only beat De Vries out of those who have set a lap time so far. I then went for a second lap, so as usual, a cool-off lap, and then a second push as I'm fuel for 2. And you can see we find loads of time just simply in those areas where we lost time on the previous lap. And it's going to be a half a second improvement, which moves us into P11, and only a tenth of Hamilton in P9 in the Mercedes, which is great progress. We go purple in the middle sector, so the AI very much similar to last year's game, where they're a bit slow in the second sector, but they're very fast in the first one. Lando is cooking, by the way. He's in the top 6, very strong. For now though, we're going to jump into the final runs because we're at P11 right now. We have a good chance, if we solve the gap, 3/10 of safety to possibly get through. So, turn 1, down to third gear. I've actually gone a bit higher on the front wing for this run to try and get a bit more turn in to help in the first sector. Oh no, that is really not great. We lose the back end. We avoid damage, but we're out of time. There is no way we're getting this turned around, especially with the traffic, to get another lap underway. So the fate of qualifying is not in our hands. Luckily, for the first time this season, we make it out of Q1 thanks to the previous lap. So we get let off the hook massively. We make it through by half a tenth, and sometimes you need a bit of luck. And that's exactly what we got in that qualifying session. We was about half a second off Lando, 4.5 tenths, so not exactly ideal. A 128.2 being the final lap time, but I do think there's a bit more pace to find.
Okay, here's an update. We've got a leak in the hydraulic system, so it's going to be a few minutes before we can get you back out on track, I'm afraid.
Now Q2 didn't get off to the best start, but alas, we'll keep pushing, we'll keep trying. And we should still get 2 runs in here. The first run was on that same tyre that we just used to get through, so it was pretty second hand at this point. And up to the line we go. 28.8, we match our first banker in Q1, and it was a very miserable lap, very poor, not particularly on the pace. As for, potentially making it into Q3, we're 1.1 seconds away as it stands right now. P11 though looks very achievable, as that is 28.2, which is not that bad. So yeah, with about 50 seconds to go, I'm the last car to start a lap. We're going to try and give it everything. I've actually gone back down on the front wing as I wasn't happy with the balance on that first lap, and also of course the spin at the end of Q1. And we're going to run the same setup that I used to get through in Q1. So, turn 1, braking at the curb, down to third gear, getting the apex, short shift to fourth to get the power down through 2 and 3, floor it as soon as you can, and bring the car over to the right as soon as possible. And this is a great start for the lap. 3/10 up already as we head into the S section. Use the curb to try and help you turn in, and then be patient through the right to open the left and try to run it nice and tight to the apex. We're actually going a little bit too early, which does ruin my exit a little bit. I needed to basically open up the line a bit more and then kind of cut back across and get the exit, but I didn't quite optimize the line, so I probably dropped about a tenth through there, I reckon, compared to a perfect scenario. On the brakes now at the shadow pretty much as we go into third gear for this left-hander, this time getting the apex beautifully. Stay nice and tight through the long right-hander, and now under the bridge into the chicane, third gear, lots of inside curb. You bottom out on the second one and we flick it through to the final left as we now head onto the back straight. Smooth on the throttle, and we're up on Stroll by a tenth and a half as we make our way into sector 3. Purple right now and up by a full second, which is looking very, very good. There's a bit of time to find here as well at the final corner as we look for the 100-meter board break, but I just miss a downshift. I pressed the paddle, but for some reason I must have not pressed it all the way, or it didn't register in 5th gear, and it just cost me as we outbroke ourselves massively into the final corner, and that small detail cost us a couple of tenths. So yeah, P12 for us in qualifying. We improved by 7.5 tenths in the end. If you were to add on those 2 tenths that we lost, it would have still kept us P12, but a hell of a lot closer. And I think we could have actually got Q3, guys. There was a bit of time at the end of Sector 1 through the long left. And I feel like that plus the mistake at the final corner where I could have actually maybe even gained time might have just got us through. So, yeah, a bit of a shame I couldn't quite make it. But there was definitely a mid to high 27 there, which is actually pretty decent and would have only put us about 2-3 tenths off Lando. So I think we've got some decent pace this weekend. We've got very high straight line speed and not particularly great in the corners. We've got a pretty low downfall setup, but it seems to be working. So let's see. Could this be the race we finally get our first points?
We're here in the coastal shores of Florida for the Miami Grand Prix, which has become the 11th Formula One track held in the United States. Grandstands are packed for what we hope is going to be another fantastic race, with great opportunities for wheel-to-wheel battles featuring 19 corners, 3.36 miles long and expected average speeds of 138 miles an hour. The Miami International Autodrome will be sure to create lots of chances to overtake. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Leclerc, Sainz, Hamilton, Russell, Fernando Alonso, Norris, Ocon, Stroll, Martinez, Tsunoda, Zhou, Magnussen, Bottas, Gasly, Hülkenberg, Albon, De Vries and Logan Sargent. And now it's time to head down to the track. And it's an absolute pleasure to be joined once more by Anthony Davidson. Now let's talk about Sergio Perez. That was a great win in the last race, but can they keep that momentum going into this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs. So it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
Here we go then, Miami. Hopefully, this is the race we finally score points. I'm hoping, I'm praying this is the one, and I'm hoping for just a bit more than just P10. I'd love to hopefully get a couple more places, but I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Anyway, as for the race, we have Lando just right in front of us there to the right-hand side. So he's starting from P8, and we have gained a place after someone else got a penalty. So yeah, for this race, we're going to start on the medium and go for the hard tyre. We've been recommended a personalised alternate strategy, which is fine. I've actually this time reduced the fuel a bit, so we're going to start gambling a bit on fuel to see if we can make, a bit of time up on saving some weight. But yeah, setup is exactly the same as qualifying. Happy with the car balance, and the medium is going to be a nice baseline tyre to start the race with. We'll see how it goes. Our tyre wear is a bit higher, so I don't think we're going to touch the soft tyre today. And yeah, guys, like, subscribe. Also down below, as always, prediction. Will this be points? Let me know what you think. Here we go then. Miami time. Let's get the revs sorted out. Not bad, a little bit low. Quick 5 lights. Alonso off to a poor start. And we're going to get both Aston Martins, and we're going to challenge Lando around the outside. So for the first time we get to see our teammate. We're following Ocon through, who's had a brilliant start himself. And we're up into the points, up into P8 as we get the jump. Lando on the outside. Going to need a bit of space. Not going to fight too hard. We don't have a lot of wing compared to others. Bottas around the outside. We will fight this one a bit harder. And Bottas backs out, so that'll do. We'll just force him wide enough that we can keep the position. The AI are going to be very strong in the first couple of laps, of course, using all the battery as they always do. But so far, that was a really good start. Very happy with that. Car responding well. We had some good tyre temp to be aggressive. And we've got both cars in the points. So for the first time, we're actually staring at Lando's rear wing. Will we have to pace to keep up? Only one way to find out. But Russell on a hard tyre, so he could be struggling in this race early on. We'll see how things progress. For now, though, it's a good start. And exactly what the doctor ordered. Alonso was on the hard tyre as well, hence why he didn't really get off the line that well. But yeah, good stuff. Fuel looks okay. Let's see how things progress this race. The AI are super aggressive on their battery early on. They're really pulling away on the straight. But our back a really bit. We're surprised they're actually pulling away as much as they are, because they're super strong in the corners, so I can't figure out what their setup is. They're strong in the straights and the corners. There's no real deficiencies. I'm not too confident we're going to keep DRS.
Okay, DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
I'm not that fast in this first sector. It's my weakest one, so there's no chance we're going to have DRS on the next straight. So much understeer through there. The front end just will not turn in. Stroll looking for a move, or at least he was. He'll now open the DRS for the first time. We'll see if he gets close enough to challenge. I think he'll just run out of track. Bit of a rear lock there. Got to be careful with the brake bias, of course. Okay, we're out of battery now, so I've got nothing to defend myself with as we bottom out on that curb. Pace seems abysmal so far. Although we are higher up than usual, but I'm struggling to hold on. So we're not going to fight Lance here. There's literally no point. We'll try to tuck in and see if we can just sit on the DRS. And then eventually Alonso will become faster with that hard tyre, so we'll then fall in line and follow him instead. Right now we'll just sit behind Lance. I lose too much time in that first sector. I just lose DRS. Simply just cannot stay close enough. That's a big issue. Alonso will probably pass here. I'm going to defend the inside. Just send him the long way round. I think I can keep Stroll's DRS through here. I'm pretty strong through this part of the track. But that sector 1 is an issue. Alonso might get the run of runs here. He's got me lined up pretty nicely. Looks like he's committing. Yes, he is. We lock the rears a little bit, but we keep under control. And we stay in front for now. I'm not sure if we're going to get back in Stroll's DRS now, though. I think I lost too much on that straight. Race pace again just isn't there. That's a big surprise. We're stronger in qualifying than we are in a race, which is the complete opposite of the last 3 or 4 F1 games. Oh, a bit of a slide through there. Really not a good sign when that's happening. Alonso will pass me this time. I've got no form of defense on this particular DRS zone. Still not able to charge any battery. I need to use it to keep up and stay competitive. Alonso with an excellent exit. Bottas might struggle though. He's on softs, and so is Tsunoda. They might start to fade a little bit now, so we should be able to keep up with Alonso here. No, we're going to lose DRS again. I just lose it in the S section. I simply cannot compete or keep up. Bottas might pass me, to be fair. The Alfa Romeo's got very good straight line speed. The good news is that we're kind of keeping up with the cars behind, or ahead, more like. Bottas, here he goes. We'll hold it on the outside, and that will allow us to stay in front and keep DRS on Alonso through here. But yeah, Lando's putting a shift in, he's moving forward, and we're catching up to some of the cars ahead. I think Ocon's got possibly some slight damage. He's been overtaken by Stroll, and now by Alonso, and visibly seems to be struggling with low corner speed. The fact I've managed to keep up through there is a bit of a telltale sign. So I reckon he may be dealing with some damage, which could move us into the top 10. As Alonso now goes for the move. I've moved my brake for us slightly towards the front as I was starting to rear lock as tyre wear kicks in. Alonso with a lovely move all the way around the outside of Ocon there. We'll see if we can basically follow through ASAP as we slightly tap him there. Ocon's so slow in the corners. Should be able to get this one done. The Alpine now accelerates like crazy. Let's see what the VMAX looks like as we close in. Closing in on Alonso as well. I'm going to try and go around the outside maybe. Nice. Fantastic move. Right then, back into the top 10. Who would have thunk it? Ocon battling with Bottas, and that's costing them all time, so they're falling away. I'm somehow keeping up. Lando isn't even that far, to be fair, after 11 laps. We're definitely more competitive here. By hook or by crook, we're finding a way to make it work. We just can't compete in this first sector or get DRS onto the big back straight, but we're making up in the middle sector and we're doing just enough to hang in there. Alonso should be getting stronger now as well on that hard tyre, so we might be able to get back up to Stroll.
Caution, caution.
Ooh, okay. Another potential position. This time it's one of the Red Bulls.
Clear.
By the looks of it, we'll see which one it is, but this could move us into P9. Also closing in on Stroll. Safety car now would be interesting. We could box and go to the finish. It's Verstappen. He pulls off. Still yet to see the VSC though, or the safety car, or the red flag in this career save. But P9 and P8, P7 ain't too far away. This is our scheduled pit stop lap, but I'm quite happy to stay out following Alonso on the hard tyre. We're slowly catching Stroll and we can gain a bit of tyre youth on the next set to keep them a bit fresher in the long run. So I'm happy to maybe try and stay out. I just hope Lando pits so we don't get in each other's way. Lando Fernando staying out. He will probably pit the next lap, so I'll have to stay until at least lap 15, which I don't mind entirely. Car feels actually better now. We've kind of got through the worst of the tyre wear, and it's actually coming back to me a bit. I think that the car is getting a bit lighter on fuel, and we're keeping up. This is the closest I've been to Alonso through the first sector, so this is encouraging. There we go.
Lando's coming in for his stop now.
Interestingly, Stroll staying out. Alonso putting the pressure on his teammate now. He's picking up the engine mode. He's starting to open the gap a little bit. Okay, we'll use the battery here, whatever we've got, to try and stay competitive. A bit of time loss here would be nice as the Aston Martins choose to battle. I'm assuming Stroll's going to pit now anyway. A little bit of time loss, never hurt anyone, at least not if you're not in Aston Martin colours. And Alonso pits before Stroll. That is very interesting. Well, we're going to box with him, and we're going to go for the hard tyre. Stroll looks like he's going for a soft tyre. Fair. I don't feel too confident going for a soft, so we'll go for the hard. Missed my pull away. Ah, that's such a good stop as well, but we're still going to get Alonso. So the McLaren boys are the best in the business when it comes to pit stops. Alonso now mediums though.
Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
So realistically, Lando's probably going to get through easily. Right, Lando 5 seconds up the road, stuck in a bit of traffic. Alonso battling with Tsunoda. We'll try and see if we can get this tyre fired up and find some grip. I've got a bit more front wing on the car as well for this stint to give myself a bit more of a front end in the first sector. Alonso's going to go through here. I'm not even going to fight. If we can keep up with Alonso on this tyre disadvantage, that would be awesome. So we'll try and stick with Fernando here. Tsunoda closing. I will just keep my car slightly on the inside. We can defend this line, that's fine. Like so. Now we're going to have to get past Logan Sargent, who is, I believe, yet to pit. And if he has pit, he's struggling massively on tyres. I'll see if I can follow Alonso through here. Minimal time loss is the name of the game, especially with Stroll probably pitting in the next 2 laps. Alonso trying to go through on Sargent. Let's see if we can follow. Whoa, Alonso locks up, had to take evasive action there. Sargent not particularly quick, so we'll go through. We're going to lose DRS on Fernando though. Up the inside. Right, let's push, clean it. That's the perfect middle sector as we go purple, so the hard tyre is working. I've also could have gone a bit more aggressive on fuel. Stroll pits as Alonso battles with Hulkenberg. Let's see how this all kind of pans out. I'm expecting everyone now to pit, those who have to do another stop as it's soft tyre territory. So this will give us our true position. Stroll on the inside. Will have the edge, but he is on the soft tyre, but he's going to have to pass some traffic before arriving to me in the form of Yuki Tsunoda. Stroll goes through and overtakes Tsunoda, so we're next up. He'll be on the back of me by the end of the next lap. Don't forget, next lap could be right now. Lance is on the rampage. I'm going to defend the inside though, because I'm fast through here. I want to make it count. I don't want to be stuck behind Lance. We'll let him go eventually, but not right now. He'll probably get us here though. This will be easy for him. To be fair, the tyre compounds will make this race interesting. Stroll should catch up to Alonso. Alonso's catching up to Norris. So they could all well kind of converge and merge, which might bring us back into it, especially when tyre wear kicks in. We're going to have the better tyres at the end, so it might just give us a chance. Oh. Stroll just blew up.
Green flag.
Nice, that's P8 straight back. And we're going to be left on our own, pretty much. Unless this triggers a safety car. Or a virtual safety car. Let's find out. Looks like it's going to be okay. Yep. So there's still no appearance from the safety car. You can see why I changed the engine components. People are starting to have issues this weekend. A lot of reliability trouble. But we're a comfortable P8 now, unless something happens with the Norris and Alonso. That's pretty much going to be it for our race, although I have been catching Norris to be fair. The gap has come down a bit. Well, that's probably down to me sitting in Stroll's DRS. Well, let's see. If Alonso and Norris battle, we might be able to gain some time back.
Okay, we've got a full course caution. The safety car's out. Keep an eye on the delta. We need to keep it positive to avoid a penalty. Slow down, maintain positive delta.
I'm going to take a chance and pit. The gap to Zhou is 17 seconds. I'm going to take this.
Pitting this lap then. Come into the pits at the end of this lap.
I don't care, it's worth a gamble. We might be able to get something else out of this. We need to nail this pit stop. This is going to be key. The pit exit is going to benefit us. This has to be perfect though. Another great stop, 2.2. The boys don't miss. We might just get out ahead of Zhou here. Already in P9 on a cold, soft tyre, but we can make it work. It's going to be close. We're going to have to race out the pits here. Think we've got it? Yes, we have. Just got to get off the delta.
Okay, slow down, slow down. Your delta's negative, which means you're going too fast. Reduce your pace.
Okay, perfect. So we lost one place in that. That was totally worth it. And now we've got a soft tyre to put on a bit of late fireworks in this race. Safety car in this lap. Late call. No radio message.
Safety car in this lap. Safety car in this lap. Let's make sure those tyres are up to temperature. Remember, there's no overtaking until the timing line. Stay in position until the green flags.
Illegal.
That move was illegal, I'm afraid, mate. Return the position, give it back.
That's not ideal. I thought I passed him after the start-finish straight, the finishing line. Either way, we'll have to try again. That's a shame. Bit of unnecessary time loss. Oh, Tsunoda with a slide through there. Right, let's get him. No need to use a ton of battery, I don't think. We should be able to get a nice organic slipstream on the outside line right now. Just gonna have to commit to the brakes. Battling ahead as well between the Mercedes boys. Around the outside. Lovely. 3 laps to go. Alonso next. The Mercs still side by side into the slow section, although now they've fallen into line. I thought about there, but we'll just back off. We'll keep it simple. Not going to overcomplicate things. We were in the points for the first time this season. I'm going to try and make it count. Let's try and get Alonso here into the hairpin, using the batteries. Alonso defends the inside. On the anchors, nice and late. And we clear him. Lando's next. We're going to go for 2 for 1 here. Here we go, up the inside of our teammate. Keep it clean. Do not want to affect Lando's race, but we're now P6. Hamilton next. Let's try and get onto him. Let's see if we can nail this S section. Hopefully the soft tyres hold on until the end of the race. You see the grip difference. This has been our worst part of the whole lap and we're keeping up like it's nothing. I wonder if we can get a podium. Could that be possible? Closing in on Lewis here. Trying to keep some battery back if possible. Side by side though with the Mercedes. On the brakes. Around the outside again. And this is our part of the lap. We're very strong. So we will get onto Russell straight away. Over the chicane. Beautiful. Important exit here. Nice. That Merc's got a bit of horsepower though. Look at acceleration from Russell. Now we're pulling him in. We're in the natural slipstream. We're going to force him away from the Ferraris. On the outside again. Soft tyres too strong. Another move, P4. Podium up next.
DRS has been enabled. DRS is now enabled.
Running a bit thin on battery, but I reckon we get P2 here. Let's see if we can try and get Charles Leclerc. Let's stick with it. Let's stick with the action. Nice. Leclerc will have
We've got enough fuel for 3 more laps.
DRS from Sainz. But we're going to get a really powerful slipstream now, as we're pretty close. Beautiful. I'm not the most confident in the brakes in this game. That was my first proper dive bomb, but that was clean. And now we can get onto Sainz in this next DRS zone.
Some information on Perez. Okay, they're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
Oh my god. Checo's slow. Checo's really slow. Possible yellow flag. We have to take it. We have to go for it.
Okay, clear.
Oh my god. Side by side with Carlos Sainz for the race lead. No idea where to brake. Up the inside. Oh, a bit of a snap, but we're through. And we're somehow into the race lead at Miami with a lap to go. Oh my god. Oh my god. What a call on the strategy. Can we hold on? We've got no battery left. And they are now going to be in full power mode. And Sainz is going to have DRS. We need to nail this section. That was perfect, but hasn't done much. Carlos has kept up quite nicely. He's had a good exit as well. We're going to use all the battery we've got, but we're out already. We've done enough. We've kept the gap at 4/10. We might just hold on here. Here comes Carlos. We'll cover the inside. On the brakes. Keep it tidy, keep it tidy. I think we've got this. This is our strong suit. This is where we're strong in the lap. Clunk over the curbs one last time. A little bit wide there, but we'll get a good exit. Use all the battery one last time. Oh my god, we're going to do it. I can't believe it. Let's just not mess up the hairpin like in qualifying. Sainz, oh my god, look at the closing speed. Sainz closing in like an absolute rocket ship. Going to have to defend one last time. And we get it on the brakes. Easy on the power. And we've done it. Out of nothing, we win at Miami.
Oh, superb driving. That is the race win, my friend. Well done.
Here we are then, a phenomenal Miami Grand Prix, and what a great show of skill from our race winners today. And look at that, they're making their way out onto the podium now. Great race from the McLaren team, and I'm very happy to see them there on that top step of the podium.
There we go. It's done. That result right there justifies, or basically makes us forget of the really poor first 4 races, because pretty much if you would imagine a normal kind of season, a few points here, a few points there, we probably would have had about 25 points really anyway. So this basically remedies our season straight away and helps us out massively. And not just that, double points finish, Lando in P7, very strong race from him yet again. Ferraris 2-3, Mercedes 4-5, Alonso P6, and he got the better of Lando in the end. Hulkenberg P8 out of nowhere, Tsunoda P9 and Magnussen P10, so Haas having an incredible day in the points as well. As for Red Bull, double DNF, Verstappen, Perez, Stroll also out the race, and the Alpines also having a race to forget. So, in the standings, we're up to 8th. We leapfrog Lando just like that, and both cars in the top 9, and that is exactly what the doctor ordered. And not just that, we leapfrog Alpine, and we're 5th out of nowhere. Wowzers, what a weekend, what a race, what a performance. If that does not deserve a like and a subscription, especially a subscription, I don't know what does. What a performance. That could be the race of the season right there, to be honest. I think it'll be hard to top that, but wow, what a race, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. As always, a big shout out to the channel members for supporting as always. Finally, check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them already. And yeah, guys, we're back again at next race in Imola. Until then, take care, and that's goodbye from me.